up. Look, if you want to look into it, you'll find it. So, like, for example, I went to the Seoul Symposium thing for the UAPs. I got a security briefing by a security firm to tell me what the fuck could happen there. And, like, hey, all these things might happen. You might run into these people. Beware of extortion. Beware of people trying to figure out stuff, blackmailing you. All that shit came up. It's just a matter of due diligence. And, of course, we're speaking in this day and age, so I think that's also a very appropriate point, that we have the benefit of better search now, because even maybe back then it was difficult to even do Google search normally if you didn't know the syntax, like put things in quotation marks and then use the plus operator and things like that. So I remember it being difficult, but it's not impossible. But, yeah.
I think the counterpoint as well, Pro, is that I totally agree with what you said, but the other side of it is what I said before, is that Ghislaine Maxwell is a convicted sex trafficker and groomer, and, to suggest that she did enough of that to get 20 years, but not enough to have any clients at all, is ridiculous,
Oh, yeah,
that's what's nuts.
Yeah, people want to blackmail them.
I've been to enough crazy parties and after parties, and probably way more than the average human being in my life, to know that there's some crazy shit that goes on in people's places. And the fact that you were there, like, I've been to plenty of places that I went to and I left, like, immediately. Like, I've been around strippers, prostitutes, all that kind of stuff, because it's so connected to the industry. It's just always there. And the thing is like, you never know how wild the place is until you get there. Most of the time, people are just like, where's the after party? People are running the credentials, who's there, and all that stuff. It's just who's there. Then you get there and you're like, oh, this is the mafioso part. Okay, maybe we should leave. Or sometimes you're in places completely long term for everybody that's in your set. And you're like, all right, we need to go. But back in the day, when I was first started doing all these things, all I had was pages and stuff. Cell phones didn't have a way to send text messages, right? You just get to a place, you're there, and you bounce out. But it doesn't matter how good the technology is. It's just easier. It's better now when you want to do the due diligence. But most people come from the hip hop after party aren't trying to do the due diligence, and most people trying to get their rocks off aren't trying to do the due diligence either. They're trying to see how discreet it is, right? Like how easy they can get in and out. Now, obviously, scores of people that, right? I'm just saying, you can't throw everybody that they, like, are they were Epstein girls? Oh my God! Like, you can just see this.
I watched Jon Stewart last night. Sometimes I watch the Daily Show every now and then. I watched one Jon Stewart on this. He was like, said, I'm in the Epstein files. And then when he gets to the material, it's like he's in one email from one person to the other. They're like, well, we should probably, there was like a proposition about some projects, some future projects, and one person's like, and we should have somebody like Jon Stewart to narrate and, discuss the proceedings of the event or whatever in the film or the project or whatever it was. So like there's cases like that too. We gotta be, there's so much shit in there that it's a massive, like, colossal, gargantuan task to go through. Even like, for like an army of like FBI agents, it's like a Herculean effort to go through all of this stuff. Also, I want to say I don't know if this was already mentioned, but French prosecutors have raided offices of Elon Musk. Musk's ex in the headquarters in France. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but
no.
So there's some. This is originally written in French, and this is translated to English. So there may be some errors here, but the crimes being investigated as part of the raid are conspiracy to illegally administer an online platform, fraudulent extraction of data and forging information regarding the operation of an IT system, accessory to possession of pornographic materials involving minors, conspiracy to act as accessory to distribution, offering, or facilitation of the aforementioned content, representative slander, i.e., maliciously making a picture of a person.
Yeah, he's getting
And
it all
lastly,
with the deep faking stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and then the last one is denial of crime against humanity.
Yeah,
And the last four, it says the last four are recent and links to the Grok debacle.
Yeah, because like you can,
I don't know, that's
like Grok can declothe you, right? So you can post a photo and then just say, hey Grok, here, can you change my shirt? Actually, can you make the shirt smaller? Actually, hold on, let's go to the sun, and you slowly just undress yourself through a series of prompts. So that's the thing in Grok, and they have not secured that. Like, it's kind of wild.
Well, yeah, and I think there were issues related to that and it being used to basically generate child pornography, and there wasn't enough safeguards to stop that from occurring. And I think that's still an issue that hasn't been dealt with.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we want, not too much moderation. I'm like, why don't you just, hire people to make sure these things are reviewed more? Like, I remember a few years ago, Canada did an investigation on Facebook, and they found that there was only one representative who worked in Canada for all of the censorship and problems in Canada. And the guy was interviewed live on air, and he's like, yeah, it's just me. And so that kind of like staff, you're not gonna fix anything. Like you're just gonna you're putting in the minimum effort. And so like in Europe, there's like a lot more like the laws for slander and so on are higher. So if you make like an image of Keir Starmer doing something stupid or whatever, or sorry, not Keir Starmer, but any of the European representatives, you can get in trouble because there's no necessarily free speech in Europe. So.
quick shout out to Al.
Yes,
I'm listening.
Alfonso joined the atheist house.
Oh, you're back, man.
Welcome, Alfonso. Dude, the French are not fucking around, but I'm kind of jealous. I wish that were the United States. Not fucking around with what? They just raided Elon Musk's ex headquarters in France.
They've ordered him to show up along with the ex-CEO to a court hearing. They want him in Paris.
On what complaint?
I think there's operating there's all that stuff about Grok and the online stuff, but there's also operating an immoral platform or an illegal platform, one of those two. They're talking. They're not charging him at the moment. They're investigating him, but they want him in Paris to answer questions directly, face to face.
Yeah. I think there's like 6 different alleged crimes that they're investigating him for in France. I put a BBC link in the chat if you want to read it.
I find it a little standoff telling the fact that neither of those guys is actually trying to mention each other as much lately. It's like if a dude had just told you that you're in those files, and then the other dude had a crash out, and with the level of bravado that comes from both those dudes, it's hard to believe that there's relatively children people. The kind of Asian thing is probably not that.
Yeah, it's rough.
I came up because I wanted to ask Pro. It seems like he knows. Pro, how can you still get tickets for Epstein Island? How much are they going for?
So my understanding is that Epstein Island has been turned into a tourist strategy, which kind of what you mean, like Alcatraz or something? Yeah, I think it's been purchased for the purpose of tourism. So technically, I think you can buy a ticket to Epstein Island.
What, they're turning it into jail? They're turning it into an attraction.
At least it's the kind of place you can go to, like Alcatraz. sort of fascination with Alcatraz. I don't really understand the allure that it seems to have.
You've never seen The Rock.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've also seen what's the other one with Clint Eastwood?
Island. That is about Alcatraz.
Like, whatever happened to Sean Connery? He just kind of seemed to drop off the face of the earth, just like days. But then he died.
Did you die? Dead? I mean, yeah, people die.
How long did you wait? How long were you looking for 2 seconds? Were you looking for 2 tickets or just a solo trip?
No, the whole group did.
I always want to go with at least 2. Kind of like,
You know what I mean?
you always want to do an Elon. Like, hey, I'm going to be going with the wife. Really? Dude was like, really? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, like in the letter that Epstein wrote back to Elon, he was like, "Yeah, your Tallulah might not be comfortable there." So
The wife's not going to feel good about this one, big guy.
yeah, it's like, hey, wink, wink. And I was like, yo, say word, you're getting tips from a pedophile not to freak out your wife by how fucked up the island is. I'm like, wow, that's, at least he's considerate.
That's another tip of what I'm talking about. Like, very clearly, that dude was looking to go party. Could have very easily been that he wasn't thinking anything other than, I just want to go to a place with a bunch of easy victims around, victims being adults and victims being paid for people that you brought, as opposed to pedophilia stuff. Like, I think the pedophilia thing, like, I'm sure the masses of people early on probably didn't know that part. Because if you're just trying to run a successful business, which you want to run a business that is assuming that you were trying to, be sort of the grand architect of all bribery and psychopaths. When you go with something that's a little bit more sustainable, like on the pecking order of sustainability, like pedophilia is like seems like some real niche kind of like heinous kind of thing that's gonna end eventually, right? If you're trying to do it sustainable, you think that's for your like premium screwball customers, right? Like only for the Trumps or whatever, but maybe it's the Elons too. But just thinking that when you listen to that transaction, how that went down in the email, it sure seems like you're just looking at, hey, find me a party. You didn't say anything about checking. He was probably trying to buy chicks, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like what you said with parties like this in hip hop and so on, and music. Like Elon used to live next to musicians, if I'm not mistaken, right? So he would go to parties on a regular basis. So I also get that you hear that this guy has amazing parties, and you're like, yeah, let's go to one of them. But that's post 2008, so Elon claiming to be retarded and not know how to read, that was in the courts, and you were asking to go to that island after those things went to the courts. You don't get a pass for that. Like you gotta cut people out who are toxic, and it's just frustrating that that's the answer. I'm like, I'm sure I grant that answer, but it's still not a great answer.
Any care about what's going to apply to court law, and that will apply to court.
Yeah, fair point.
Hey, Elliot. You were kind of asking what happened to Sean Connery, besides the fact that he's dead now. But it's kind of interesting, actually, that towards the end of his career, in I think The Matrix and also maybe even Lord of the Rings or something, but he like passed on all these movies because he was like, I don't understand them. And then he ended up doing The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen because he's like, okay, so I passed on these other things that got really big. And then he was like, yeah, I'm never doing that again.
Relationships there, if we want to be there in 6 years, full time. So that really. It's tough. It's tough to navigate stuff like.
Yeah, Netflix right now has all of the James Bond movies on them too. So as I've been working, I've been kind of going back through them. And definitely like the '60s movies, there's things there that you're just like, whoa, yeah, that's from a different time, all right. Holy cow.
Proper dodgy, aren't they? Some of them. Yeah, proper dodgy.
Thomas Jefferson, he was one of the main voices that argued against slavery from the principles of the Enlightenment. But he himself owned hundreds of slaves. What the hell am I supposed to do? Because Thomas Jefferson.
It's even further than that, because not only did he contribute to the Declaration of Independence, but then the rights of man and stuff over in France, he was hugely influential in. And then you find out not only did he own slaves, but then he took his father's wife's, or his father's concubine's daughter as his own underage. Well, he couldn't marry her, but basically, she was 13 when they consummated their marriage, and so he was taking his dad's concubine's daughter from another coupling, and then that was his companion for the rest of his life, and he had multiple kids with that person, and then they were still treated as slaves even though they were Jefferson's progeny. It's just crazy complicated. That's the same dude that's oh yeah, and all men are created equal, we need to think about equality. And even he was writing about towards the end of his life the time bomb that was slavery and owning people, and how it could be a poison pill for the United States.
There's more there. He wrote extensively in the Federalist Papers. There's we have hundreds of letters, original copies, not shreds of parchments or whatever. We have full complete original copies of letters between him and Adams and a bunch of other people, Benjamin Franklin, and where he argued extensively. We have stuff in the constitutional conventions prior to 1789. He very publicly argued against slavery, but he in a lot of different ways. But he owned a lot of slaves, man.
Being in class, and there was always class clowns.
Who are you talking about? You talking about me?
We are talking between ourselves.
You talking to me? Why don't you talk in English? You're trying to hide
Us, just like he did in the destruction of the Second Temple.
Christians can also be judged. Also, that's all I'm saying.
Do you want me
The Arash has me blocked, right? He comes up here and he's like, he didn't want to say anything. Arash que habla mi seguro.
I didn't trade that person.
He called her pencil up. It's crazy.
No, of course not.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I did send you an invite. There you go. What's up with the bus? Assalamu alaikum.
So what's up over here?
How you doing, bro? Pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not man, all good.
So really, yeah. What's up, Matan? Or Noam?
So you say what? I'm here. Apparently.
Times Resort reported that Iran did shoot something at one of their warships, and U.S. shot it down. I don't know how true that story is. Oh my God, not Black Rabbi again.
When was this?
Give me a fucking headache. Does anybody want Black Rabbi on the stage, man? It gives me a fucking headache.
He could come up for 5 minutes, bro. He ain't got no life like he.
Okay.
This is the best time of the day for him. Just let him.
لما أنت له أحب بطريقة.
I can read the Hebrew. It's very good Hebrew, Benyamin. Yeah, Ibn Zola, Israeli Terror.
He's Israeli terror.
Israeli Terror.
Here comes a racist person. Black Rabbi is the most racist person to say. You know the most racist person to say. You don't think you're Black American?
Oh my God! I think I'm a human being. Anyways, the point is like
There we go.
I'm here.
Reuters also reported the U.S. shoots down aggressive, in quotes, Iranian drone approaching USS Abraham Lincoln. So I'll put a story in.
So it's confirmed.
It's confirmed. This is a major escalation.
Calm down, Rabbi. Stop breathing hard, man. I don't want you to.
Okay, here, I'll put a story from the...
Thank you.
There you go. Bang, done.
Thank you, I'll check it out. Thank you.
This guy, Rabbi, is just waiting to see people die or come to war and blah, blah, blah. I'm saying, I'll tell you with a man of peace. Bomb drops, you come in your pants.
This is a major escalation. This is a complete form of defiance and an expression of a lack of desire for peaceful negotiation. You have no choice but to strike.
Intensive process to kind of select or build a strong that's on campus.
They tried to kill American soldiers today. Right? I'm appalled. I'm upset. I'm incensed. I'm enraged.
Okay. Any more words?
Did anything change in your health? Are you still eating French fries?
I just got to see some chicken.
So he's eating chicken every day. I can't believe this.
And popcorn too.
So in other words, you're not sad. You're just a bullshitter.
What is sad? You're talking about?
Alright.
No. I'm not sad about other things.
You got a restaurant?
No, reading is good.
I mean, I don't see why they're running, right now start attacking or.
That's what I'm saying. It's fishy. It's fishy.
Sounds like, how they do that.
I want to ask you a serious question.
False flag.
As an American citizen, how do you feel? What is your thoughts? Assuming 100% that they fired a drone at U.S. as Abraham Lincoln and to kill American soldiers and to take down a naval craft, as an American citizen, how do you feel about that?
feel America is occupying the sea. They need to bring the worship back. We don't have to fight Israeli war.
No. But that's fine. But America was firing them.
They are in international waters. I don't know how you occupy international waters.
Let me check the laws of this international water claim.
They're in the Persian Gulf, right?
Yeah. 12 miles outside of it.
So you think if another country would place their warships in international waters close to America would think it was cool? Russia?
Yeah, actually it happened last year. The Russians floated armada, to Cuba, including a tugboat. They do it all the time. But nothing we can do about it. They send submarines off the East Coast, off of Washington, D.C. They do it all the time. Nothing we can do.
It says it cannot do it legally. The U.S. cannot legally occupy international water, Jacob.
They can transit international. No, that's incorrect.
It says cannot legally occupy Persian Gulf waters as occupation implies sovereign control over foreign territory.
They never claimed to have that. They never claimed to have that.
What?
They never said they had claim over the Persian Gulf. They have their warships.
So then why are they occupying it?
How they occupy it? The issue is not occupying. The issue is
parking your warship on there. You're occupying it.
They're always moving. They're never occupying because that would make them sitting ducks. They're always moving.
Let me see.
It's like when they do what do they call freedom of navigation through the South China Sea. They go right through the South China Sea and China can't say anything about it. Russians fly bombers off of Alaska. We can't do anything other than, send up some planes and say, time to go back home. And eventually they do when they get close enough.
This is a major escalation. We should not accept this. We should be enraged and incensed. Iran has attacked the United States aircraft with naval craft. And Amir won't even denounce it. And he says he's an American citizen.
Denounce what?
Denounce Iranians attacking a naval air destroyer.
Okay, who sanctioned Iran for 20 years?
They're firing.
Who's the threat? Who did the attack on the nuclear facility? Did Iran do the attack in American soil?
They call it peace. They call it into the war. Everyone agreed.
You're just an idiot, man. Like, seriously, you can't even think outside the box. There's no logical argument here.
America was fired up. He said you're an American citizen. You're more loyal to the terrorists than you are.
Screw his moves, by the way. Anybody want to come up with some Palestine agenda, bro? Alright, bro. This freaking screw is loose.
I went to the doctor, but yeah.
What'd you say, Palestine?
I said, how are you, brother? I'm okay. I went to the doctor today, but, I'm okay.
Okay. Yeah, we're just talking to this retard every day in, day out.
Nothing changed.
He doesn't want to change. Like, he's such an idiot. He impregnated some girl, some chick inside Israel, and then he said his mom's going to come over, and, maybe he fornicated with some woman, not abiding by the Jewish law, So do they stone you, Black Rabbi? Or do this?
I would like to know, what kind of chicks goes and lays down with their rabbi? Is that doesn't sound like
I think there was one of the students, right, Rabbi?
She's imaginary. She's not
I'm just saying, it doesn't sound like somebody you would introduce to your mom. Like, he laid down with the rabbi. It's not the first time she lays down with a rabbi.
He says his girlfriend is a supermodel.
If I was you, I would be worried, bro. I'd be laying down with a rabbi.
He's imaginary.
She says the same like supermodel? give you some advice, bro. Like if you're trying to wipe something up, like don't choose somebody that just lays down with any bit. Like that's not a good look. You know what I mean? Just try to get somebody that at least wait until she's married. So you know she's a good girl. I mean, can't make the whole housewife. You know, it's kind of like that song. You know. It's your life, bro. Whatever makes you happy, man. Like some people like freaky chicks. You ain't got no kids yet, man. They don't even know if it's yours. If I was you, I would wait. Don't tell anybody. Get a DNA test, and then, then you could, start bragging. Until now, just lay down. No, I'll congratulate you, bro. I'll wait for you. First, bro. The next station is. I don't want to see you on Maury. That's his name, right? Maury.
Oh, you on a train, Rabbi?
They said it.
Do you get a senior discount on the train?
I think he sits in the back of the bus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a senior discount.
I never lived in my country, unfortunately.
Rabbi شغال ناطور
Black rabbit, mute yourself. I'll mute you.
Indians.
شو بني آدم؟ What?
You didn't pay for your ticket.
English.
Rabbi, you didn't pay for your ticket, man. Like you need to. Yo, this guy's going over there just hopping over them shits and buses illegally. You already in a bad situation, man.
Hey, it's a major escalation.
You ready for the missiles? Is that what you're saying?
That's what God wants.
Did you pack your bags? You're ready?
Nobody's packing bags.
The Pampers is ready? Everything ready?
I'm made for war. Not like you.
Ready, man. You couldn't even run. Dude, if somebody came to chase you, you'd die, bro.
I'm in that world. You don't know about that life. Bro, you know about your European life, your little country reality. You have headlines on the news.
Look at this Cadillac.
You get headlines on the news.
Fresh Prince of
You go to protest. You got your
Fresh Prince of television, bro. What's that guy? Uncle Phil. That's you, bro. Yeah, bro. You look like
bro. You don't know what's more like. Fall back. Fall back, bro. You don't know what's more like, bro.
know what Israel was.
You know what that country life. You can hide your face. You don't know what it's more like.
I'm not even that's what you think.
You're not built like that. You're not built like that.
Slap the yank off your head, bro.
Please. Bro, come on, bro.
Whatever.
You don't know what that word like. You don't know what's more like. That's too much. But you know what? I get it. You guys are diaspora. You're not in the middle of the creation of a new world. You guys watching other news. I'm living this. Okay. I'm in the most central part on planet Earth.
You're still eating fried chicken.
Hey, I'm in the old city. I'm in the middle. I'm in the center. I'm in the center of the universe.
You got some weirdo pregnant.
But you're a bus driver. You're a bus driver. You don't do anything.
That's right, turn up. But I'm in the center of the universe. And you guys are watching it. I'm living it. That's the difference.
You're in the back of a
we were just attacked today. The United States was just attacked. Israel's on high alert. The country is vibrant. We're ready for the Armageddon. And we're here.
You on the bus on your way to the shelter?
I'm walking in the old city, the city of David. Our ancestors.
You want to spend the night?
They're not ancestors.
Yes, they are. 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 The point is the same. The point is the same. You have no idea how beautiful the walls of the old city are.
We do. We have millions of our families.
You got pictures. You got pictures.
Hundreds of
Look at the pictures.
millions of Arabs.
Look at the picture. Look at the pictures. Look at the pictures.
Yeah, hundreds of
Enjoy it. Put on your first slippers.
What is the first version?
Put on your first slippers and your nice cable, and your flat screen TV. You know, and that's what you got. I get it.
So,
Well, eat your lunch.
This question for Black Rabbi. Black Rabbi, I heard the yeshiva runs a foundation, right? Do you have like a non-profit account in the bank?
Mary, you're asking so many questions, man. Why you gotta know my personal details? Come on, so much.
Okay. The reason why, because me and the team looked into your credentials, right?
Yeah.
And your credentials are not in order, right?
Okay.
And looks like we came to this conclusion that you got educated and became a rabbi from a street rabbi. Some street rabbi taught you.
What the hell's a street rabbi? What is a street rabbi?
Some idiot fuck off the street of Israel.
No, I don't know.
It was Captain Tazariak, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So, me and the team, we looked into your credentials and you're running a licensed yeshiva. Now, you're sitting over there inside Israel and you're educated as American Indian, right?
Africa too.
In Africa too. So, now, and you're not paying any tax, to the Israeli economy.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Now, if you become a citizen, you'll have to pay tax.
Yeah, 100%.
So you're defrauding the Israeli government because by living over there, making money while you're inside Israel.
He's not in the U.S. either. Except
But I pay a ton of money.
This could implicate you. You know that, right? This could implicate you.
No, he doesn't pay any taxes.
Do you know this, Mordecai?
Hey, you see things like this.
Do you know one report needs to go to the Israeli government about your business inside, and you will get arrested?
Oh my God. Please don't do that to me. Please don't do that to me.
We already
Please
did.
don't.
I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know.
Hey, please don't.
Me and the boys looked into your file, right? And your file is full of a lot of problems.
Yeah, like your taxes. Your taxes is like you're making nothing.
Hey, I'm walking the center of the universe. Show respect. I'm in the center of the universe. The fact you get to hear my voice. You know how blessed you are to hear my voice right now?
You're on your way to the shelter.
Wait.
Be hungry.
Wait, no, I'm walking behind this.
Let me have this chicken before I hit the shelter.
You understand that? The fact you hear the vibrations of my voice?
I'm going to the shelter. You're running.
I'm in the center of the universe, bro. Come on.
Here, you're running all the way. You're running. You're out of breath. You want to go to the shelter?
I'm walking up the hill.
Just make sure you had some chicken. It might be your last meal. Never know, bro.
Hey,
I know they come tomorrow,
Go on my Instagram so you can see some pictures.
Is that how we do it?
Let me see all those pictures of us.
34, 21, 36. $29, 47, 91. 82, 88, 25. 82, 88, 25.
Never do that again. Ever.
Hey, Rabbi, don't do that again, bro. Please respect your privacy, okay? Because it's wrong on so many levels. Wow. Everyone's in the chat, they're writing a whole bunch of shit in Hebrew, so I can't understand. I'm sure they're probably talking smack about this Roman, about me. You want to tell us what they're writing in the chat? Do you mind?
They're trashing you and writing bullshit. It's nothing. They're just
They're triggered.
they're trying to report to the Shabak or whatever.
Okay. It's not the first time, by the way, Daniel. It's not the first time. But anyways, Emerald, did you hear about this? That they shot down some drone or something. The U.S. did this. The Iranian drone was shot down by the U.S. warship. You heard about this?
I heard something, yeah, but we were mostly talking about. There was a lot of things happening in the West Bank and Gaza to the Rafah and everything.
Yep. And Noam was making a claim that they removed the occupation. They're not occupying it. I'm like, are you for real? Yeah, he asked him to meet up. Even ChatGPT says he's an idiot, man. And he does it on purpose.
There was just an item on the evening news that, well, the excuse they used is that Hamas is using drones via Egypt to smuggle in weapons. So that means that Israel will have to deal with that and remain in Gaza for a few years. They basically declared it occupied. Nothing that we didn't know, right? We have satellite images of them building bases there for months now, so it's not exactly big. It's not exactly groundbreaking news.
I got you. So, how do you suggest we can offer that therapy? The Zionists and the Pahlavi supporters.
I think that the biggest question is how do you get them to acknowledge reality? And snap out of their God complex.
You want to come up, Daniel, and tell us what Emerald is asking? No? Hey, what's up, Ace?
By the way, an 8-month-old baby died in north of Hebron about an hour ago from suffocation of tear gas.
It's crazy.
And there's some sort of special forces in Jericho. Something's happened in Jericho as well that we're not really sure. Oh, and by the way, Amir, I sent you the Wafa tweet, and they explain everything about the PLO election, and they actually give a detailed PLO, PA, Fatah, so everything we tried to figure it out.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, it says latest news is woman and child killed by Israeli fire.
Oh, the mother died too.
In Gaza, yeah.
No, that's Gaza. That's something else. No, yeah. I'm talking about the baby in the West Bank.
The West Bank.
In Hebron.
Hebron, okay.
I think I saw kids reporting it about half an hour ago.
Yeah, there was an Israeli colonist attacked minor in southern Hebron. Is that the one you're talking about?
No. About an hour ago, an 8-month-old baby died of tear gas suffocation.
He 1,872 attacks perpetrated by Israeli occupation forces and colonists in January 2026.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The Ramallah, February 3, Wafa, the head of the Colonization and Wall Resistance Commission, Muaid Shaban, declared that the Israeli occupation carried out 1,872 attacks during January 2026. Shaban pointed out in the monthly report of the Commission violations of the Israeli occupation state colonizers in the occupied Palestinian territories, that the Israeli occupation forces carried out 1,404 attacks while the colonizers carried out 468 attacks, and these violations were concentrated in Hebron Governorate, which witnessed 450 attacks, followed by Ramallah and El Beirut Governorate, which was subjected to 374 attacks, and the Nablus Governorate, which where 328 attacks were recorded. Meanwhile, 201 attacks were recorded in Jerusalem. These people are fucking sick as fuck. And in Hebron, they even destroyed, the distribution of the damage was as follows: 750 trees in Hebron, 245 trees in Ramallah, and Al-Bera, 250 trees in Nablus. In addition to the Israeli occupation, destroyed 151,000 tobacco seedlings belonging to citizens in Jenin Governorate. Wow.
So I put for everybody that wants the tweet from the Palestinian government about the elections of the PLO.
And then the Twitter link that you just texted me, okay. Mahmoud Abbas issued a presidential decree calling on the Palestinian people, both in the homeland and in the diaspora, to participate in the elections of the Palestinian National Council on November 1st, 2026. We're going to have to wait and see.
I think you may get excited about this, but I just I worked on the thing with a Jewish organization in the United States. It does all this like anti-Semitism stuff with college campuses around America. And I'm actually going to do a virtual tour to different universities that I'm going to talk to African American and Latino students about the concept over here, answering questions and just basically telling the perspective from spiritual perspective is happening. So I think you'd be excited about that.
You know what I actually want to see? I want to see you, that Ariel character, right? And any of the freeloaders that are living inside Israel to come back to the U.S. And the reason why, because that state, right, it's not for you. You have a U.S. passport, and you don't get ability as just because you converted to Judaism. You have the right to go to Aliyah and get citizenship. I want you to come back to Los Angeles. You still have time. Just come back to Los Angeles. I've been telling you this for the past 7 or 8 months now. You still have time. Just come back.
Yeah, you should do it before they.
You don't run any business. You're making money virtually.
I teach.
Bro, you teach virtually. You can do it out of Los Angeles.
No. You teach.
I'll help you find more clients. About that.
So there, you're not listening. I teach in yeshiva here in the country. Every morning, I teach here.
Bro, you can teach them in yeshiva here in Los Angeles.
No, I teach here in Jerusalem.
You can teach them here. You can convert the people to Judaism. Teach them, educate them. Some of these people, they need education.
I don't do conversion.
Okay, forget the conversion. You can teach them here in California, Los Angeles.
Come here. My kids are going to go up here. What are you talking about?
We can set up a synagogue in Crenshaw or wherever the fuck you live.
Crenshaw.
Or Compton. I live in Compton. Maybe we can set up a fucking thing in Compton. I don't care. No, he's got a property in Crenshaw, but you.
Either way.
He told me himself he's got a property in Crenshaw.
He's got property in other places too.
Yeah, you have property. Buttercup on both Canadian and American, 2 passports. So we can open up a little small, mini synagogue or the teaching place, and you can teach them. We can get a little place. It's like $500 a month. $500 a month. You can invite people to learn about the Judaism.
I'm here, brother.
Shai, stop saying racist shit in the chat, otherwise I will kick you out. Just like the N-word, I don't allow any racist racial slurs, okay? Last warning.
You said a word.
Because I don't like racist shit, right? In my room, I'm trying to keep it clean all the way.
Anyways, the key point is, if you lived in Israel and you saw how beautiful it is, how beautiful the people are, you wouldn't want to be in America. I'm just saying, so if you saw beautiful Israel and beautiful people, and not people like this liberals, but like the normal Israelis, the like normal people that love their country and love other Jews, that dynamic, you wouldn't want to leave. It's just the best. The wine is amazing, the food's amazing, the energy's amazing. You're in the center, you're the most holy place in the entire world. But you come on.
What about the okay.
Yeah, you'll be happy.
Hold on, let's compare. So you said they love you as a Jew. What about the rights for the people that are indigenous to the land?
So the ones that are here now, or the ones that are
No,
diaspora?
the ones that live in Gaza.
Okay.
The ones that live in the West Bank, the ones that live inside East Jerusalem, the one that live in Lebanon, the one that live inside Egypt, the one that live in Jordan, they're the one that live in Syria. What's your question? My question is, why can they not allowed to come back and live over there, just like you live? You just converted to Judaism 20 years ago.
Yeah,
right? But these people, they don't have to convert. They are from that land. They're native.
I know, but they got conquered.
No, they did not get conquered. They were forcefully, ethnically cleansed out of the villages.
That's called being conquered.
Oh my God.
Yes or no?
That's not. Conquer meaning you conquer the land, you allow the people that are living on the land to coexist.
No, not if they're hostile.
Yes.
That's not reality. That's not reality.
Okay, that's not reality.
No, I'm just saying, that's not reality. The people got conquered, they lost their war, they got whatever you want to call it. They're not here.
Yeah, but the war, it wasn't a war. 47 wasn't a war.
What was it?
47 wasn't a war. It was a partition plan that came about. Partition plan.
Who came up with it?
The UN came up with it.
Okay, so how about that do you choose?
Who was on the UN?
Humans.
The US.
Okay, so I'm saying, but those are third parties. That's not Israel. That's not Israel.
Do you know what US did?
It's not Israel.
Okay, Arius Truman received.
We know the story.
Received letter bonds in 1946.
Fine.
Okay. And hold on. He was part of the UN partition line. He arm twisted other countries by telling them we're going to stop your aid or whatever bullshit to be part of the UN partition plan.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was a lot of pressure coming in from in America, local. There were lobby groups and whatnot.
Okay. That had nothing to do with the Jewish people. They're just bystanders of the scenarios.
Oh, okay. So it was a recommendation. It wasn't like a mandatory thing.
Well, you know what? You guys still talk
if it wasn't mandatory, what was the need to build a state?
The point is the same. What
was the need to create a state? Why couldn't they coexist?
You asked a question.
After the white papers came out, Arabs, they did not do any attacks. There were skirmishes prior to 1939. After the fucking white papers came out, there was no skirmishes. The only thing that we were seeing was the Jewish militias attacking British men.
Why does this matter?
It does matter because every time I talk about this, it freaking bothers me. What was the fucking need to create a Jewish state in the first place?
God wanted it to happen.
God did not want it. By atheists and Catholic people that didn't believe in God.
Yes, he used them. God still used them.
Just an idiot, man, for real.
Put it this way, if religious people started the country, there wouldn't be a country. It only is a country because secular, non-religious Jews who said they wanted a city, they wanted a metropolitan, a functional system. That's why you need to have the atheist, non-religious, communist, almost socialist-minded Jews build a country, because it wouldn't be a country if religious people did it. They didn't know how to build countries. They know how to pray. God knows what he's doing. He chooses the the right people to fulfill the task.
Didn't know how to pray.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm John Kitover.
I'm saying,
Didn't know how to pray.
you're not hearing what I'm saying. The religious part of the Jewish world does not know how to build a nation state. They don't know how to build a military. They don't know how to build
Then why they have
academics. No, they did it. It was the non-religious who knew how to do that. There would be no Israel if it wasn't for non-religious. They made the whole thing happen.
Okay, so they're not religious.
They were godly. It was godly. God used
So
them.
if they were godly, then what was the need to create a Jewish state?
The reason why they created a Jewish state because God used them as instruments to build the foundation for the religious Jews to build the Torah mitzvahs.
So they were told by God to ethnic cleanse the villages, right?
Yeah.
Okay. God, first of all, you don't believe in God, and God all of a sudden told the people that are atheists, agnostics, yeah, you don't by my word, right? You don't believe in me or whatever. Then you guys still got to do it.
There's a book in Judaism called the Book of Yehoshua ben Nun. That's the person who succeeded Moses, right? The next in line after Moses was a guy Yehoshua ben Nun. And the Jews Yehoshua ben Nun that came into Israel with the people. When they came into the land, God told them to wipe out everybody. So this isn't even that. This is like a few villages, right? So as you're saying, like when the Jews come into the land,
Not few.
okay, but Amir, it's in the Torah.
It was over 500, and some of them they left out of fear because they were told because they saw what was happening to their brothers in other villages.
44, 75, 78.
It's not the same thing.
King David dealt with politics. King Solomon was a master politician.
78.
But they're prophets.
We're talking about political, not about religious.
44, 75, 78.
Okay, was David a prophet?
Bro, we're talking about political Zionism. This is not a religious group. It's not about religion.
I'm saying to you, the prophets were also political. That's my
Every
point.
time these people they get stuck, they want to pull the religious card, man.
What I'm saying is that you guys are fighting against, good ideas that were written by another man. So a man has been manipulated everything.
It's written by God.
There shouldn't be
It's my God.
no, there shouldn't be religion. There shouldn't be anything religion.
That's called prophecy. It's called prophecy. My God.
Manipulated.
It's my God.
And man, everything is made by man is to manipulate. It's to know, it's to manipulate somebody else to believe something.
God is
There are benefits. You got fighting.
God is
No, it's not.
As I understand that point of view.
Oh my God.
With information that somebody else wrote for you guys to believe on.
Even the God in
Point.
even
Do you understand what I'm
the
saying?
Quran is a
Somebody a little more deeper than that.
Hey, bro. Last one, if I kick you down, we'll kick you down.
As an attorney, I fight for people.
I warned you about this. Stop mocking my religion.
I'm not. It says it in the Quran.
You are. No,
It's a Jewish
it's not.
man, Israel.
No, it doesn't.
Of course it's not. I read it.
No, it doesn't.
I read it.
Yeah, I read it. We went back and forth with that Persian lawyer the other day, and he got cooked pretty badly.
What he said.
He got cooked. Your best friend. He's a Persian Zionist.
I know.
Yes.
Anyways, the point is just saying, the simple point is, I love you. I love all the people in the world.
I don't know.
And we need to come together for peace.
Yes.
Part of peace is Hamas disarming themselves and never coming up with it. What? But you should, though. God's creation. It's like you are. You should love God's creation. Anyways, long story short, we gotta make peace, and we gotta bring peace to the Middle East. The good Arabs that are in Israel need to fight against the evil and the wicked, which is Hamas, and PA, and PLO. States who tried to kill American soldiers. That's it. That's it. You don't do that to Trump. You don't do that to Trump.
All right. Hey, what's up, Morning? You wanna say something, Morning? She left. Okay. What's up with you, Jinder? Did you wanna speak? Any Bellamy supporters would like to come up? You're welcome to come on up. This is a therapy room at the end of the day, right? Right now, me talking to Black Rabbi, he just, offering us some therapy. That's about it. He's trauma dumping on us, right?
After you're done talking to Black Rabbi, I need some very strong drugs and recommendations.
I know. I need some as well after doing
It's not kind of it.
Even the yesterday room, I had to go to a therapy, this morning.
It's not kind of you, Jim. He's trying to bring peace together.
I still think you still have some redeemable value somewhere, somehow.
Number one, man, we talk about peace tomorrow. And
Just go find and stuff your face with some falafel sandwiches, okay? You're on. Wait, you said you were just walking by King David Hotel?
no, it's walking down the outfit.
Oh, okay. It's gonna be the place for you to go to and stuff your face with some falafel sandwiches, but it's too late, I guess.
Yeah, I went to a class. I don't know the chicken.
Daniel, I didn't know you believe in Mega. You believe in Mega? He left. Yeah. Mega, they came up with a new thing. Have you heard about it? Make Iran great again. Noam, I want to ask you a question. Did you want to destroy the Dome of the Rock? Noam?
Your eyes are getting heavy.
Noam, did you want to destroy the Dome of the Rock? Noam. Pick up the phone. No. Yeah. I don't know, man. Yes, Rabbi. What do you want to say? Any Iranians want to come up? We can have some, one Iranian and one this Zionist come back. All right, and we can therapy as well. You should be called out. You should be called out of your name every time. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to concede to anything. Why don't you concede? Why don't you say yes? We fucked up. We should not have done this.
So anyway, this came out 3 hours ago. It says an American
or something.
Shut down. Edward, why are you?
I just said hello. That's it. I just said hello.
Yeah, that's it. They bothered my voice. I told you that they alone.
You're a powerful man.
Even Daniel, he gets triggered by your voice.
Oh God! I was very interested in what Black Rabbi had to say.
You heard about the attack that has happened, Edward?
No, what happened?
Yeah, the Times Jerusalem was reporting on this. Apparently, America shot down some drone that came from Iran.
Oh wow. Yeah, they're doing war games right next to each other. Iran is doing war games right next to the Abraham Lincoln. Iran has their carriers literally right next to them. And I don't know what psychologically what they're trying to achieve or the message they're sending, but yeah, they're literally decided to do war games right there. So
It's not going to work out good.
no, you think they're gonna destroy all of Iran for a drone?
No, they're not going to destroy all of them. They're going to take out the regime. So
How come they haven't done so? They've been there for, what is that, 1 week or 2 weeks now?
They've been there for Well, I can't talk on it because, like you said, I mean, even though I'm an American citizen, I'm Palestinian, and I'm not an actual, like, I'm not a real American like you. But I'm half people. Okay, that's true. But I'm saying still, like, as almost an American. As almost an American. A passport holder. Almost an American. A Canadian. We're going to see how it goes. It was funny. That was very, very funny. These numbers are everywhere. The point is saying, as a person with an American passport,
Got a couple things set out that mean we're going to do this all week.
Where's up? My arms are fried. Drop the weight on my foot.
Fired on. I didn't fire it on. They fired a drone to kill American soldiers. He just made this up. No, that's what happened to them. No, I don't think they. Let me check on this. I don't think they fired an attack drone. I think they had a. Hurry up and catch up. Yeah. Let me catch up.
Passport, bro. My brother did get married.
Scripture says be sober-minded. That's the alert of your own.
You got married and then she left you, right?
You're asking questions that I have no answer.
No, but you did get married, right? That was your first marriage, and she left you. And then now you fornicated with this other woman, right? You made her pregnant without even getting married to it. So does a passport rule, meaning if it's like the first wife or the second wife?
Good evening, I'm John Kitover with the news. Here's what's happening this...
I think we could use a passport rule, especially black rubber, multiple times. Yeah, you're just an idiot, man. I hope you're able to look after her because I don't think you make enough money out of that unlicensed yeshiva.
You're gonna pray for me.
I'm not gonna pray for you.
Why not?
I would actually pray that may God curse you until you come back to America.
So you'll never walk through that.
Did you just say that?
No way.
Okay, that's fine. That's not a witchcraft, it's a curse. No, it's a curse. Okay. These types of people. So this thing happened with the Iran thing, and we have the what else I shared in the chat earlier today. Oh yeah, Israel and Azerbaijan. They signed artificial intelligence MOU in Jerusalem. So let's see what happens with that. And then you had the Erdogan meets with MBS in Saudi Arabia ahead of the U.S.-Iran nuclear talks. Apparently Erdogan is working, trying to mediate between Iran and America. So let's see.
Yeah, I'm looking at the drone thing. It doesn't say it was. It says it's a Shahed drone. But it's an attack drone. But it did. I'm asking right now. Why would Iran send one drone? And the U.S. used an F-35 to shoot down that drone, which is crazy. You don't have anti-drone technology? This is a major explosion. So I asked him. So protect them. Okay. GPT says intelligence gathering. Why else would he send one drone?
also, Iran went harassing a oil tanker that came out of the Straits of Hormuz. But at the same time, diplomatic negotiations are still ongoing. But I wouldn't trust that this is an attack drone, though. That's the thing.
It was.
I wouldn't trust it. No, I wouldn't trust that because.
Why would you say any drone?
That's right. They have drones for intelligence in the air.
Why would you fire that towards an Indian Ocean? Why would you do that?
I don't think it was fired at them directly, but it got too close.
Hi guys, hi Edward.
Hello,
Hi guys.
Sounding like legends.
Hi guys. No, that's different. Hi guys.
Hey, it's my friend.
Hi guys. Hi guys. Where's she? Here she is, yeah.
Oh my god. What's up,
Hi
ladies?
ladies.
My grandma's been waiting for you, ladies.
Well, I mean, you used to wear fake lies, right? With lies. Everything you said was like, U.S. is saying so. So say it again. I got distracted.
The U.S. says it looked threatening.
Yeah, it was. It was coming aggressively. It was an act of war.
When old ass Saeed is threatening.
You do not throw pebbles at your daddy, okay? You do not throw pebbles at your daddy. You will have to pay for that. They want war. They want to risk the life of the infrastructure. This is what they're at right now. Okay, these people are genocidal. They have no regard for human life. They killed 40,000 of their own citizens in broad daylight, and now they're firing.
The U.S. says it did not have clear. They didn't have any clear intent of the drone. So that's contradictory to.
No, it's not clear. They said they don't have clear intent. They have somewhat intent, but it's not clear. Yeah, but they accept it as an act of war. That this is the beginning of a whole new reality. Trump
It's not an act of war. It's one old drone, which I'm pretty sure that it was a surveillance drone, which they have.
Trump wants peace. Americans want peace. The Israelis want peace. Okay.
Oh, really?
Stop gaslighting us.
We want them to get rid of this ballistic missile program. We want them to completely denuclearize.
Shut up here. Stop lying. Israel sees it.
Ezra wants peace.
70,000 people. I'm sure the number is
Most of them were Hamas.
Stop lying.
You're such a liar.
Israel wants peace. America wants peace.
Yes, we want
For the
peace.
past what?
Yeah,
7
trust
years,
me,
America wants
killers.
war. Fire the
You
world.
don't have to trust. This is what we want.
The
We
only
just want
country
peace.
that used what's it called? This what is it called?
The Moab.
The bomb in Japan.
Oh, the hydrogen bomb. Yeah, nuclear bomb.
Nuclear bomb.
And that was a long time ago. And the point is,
No. Every single president for the past 50 years went to war. Stop lying.
Obama was known as the.
Hold on, guys. One thing, like we all owe the illusion Lelouch an apology. She was right yesterday in regards to the PLO elections. They posted and they posted on their website a very long clarification, and she was right. It includes everybody, everyone, everywhere. They are very, very clear about it. So Lelouch was wrong. So we were all schooled by a 23-year-old brilliant young woman.
Shut up.
This is what I was trying to tell you.
She's 17, and Rose, she's 17 or 18.
Can I speak? So there's a reason why Palestinians from America travel to the West Bank or to other countries in order to vote in PLO elections. Like my dad is somebody who travels back and forth between the West Bank. Why? Because he wants to be able to vote with these elections. In July of 2025, my dad went, and within a week of getting there, the PLO disannounced their elections. So PLO disannounced their elections. So, but anyways, that's okay, guys.
That's okay. Like, you get to bask in this for a bit. Like, you are schooled this all, but also it's a good thing to read because it's very specific about when they're having the PA election, the Fatah primary, and the PLO. So like it puts everything in order. Why are you talking? You're not interested.
Why are you talking to me, freaking loser?
Because he just picked me, and it has to be about him. I'm trying to actually have a productive conversation.
You're the one who interrupted her black rabbit.
Yeah, when I came in the room, you were talking about you couldn't get your drone up.
Sent him down.
I moved him down.
You're neither an Israeli or Palestinian, so shut the fuck up, black rabbit. Sorry, guys, for my language.
Genuinely, but I think like that you guys need to like start advocating for people to participate in this PLO election. I think it's like this is like Israel's one of their main objective is to prevent Palestinian unity and the Palestinian voice, and I think this is a really good opportunity. Just like that's my 2 cents on this.
Yeah, I was looking into how you get nominated for a position.
That's a very good question.
Yeah, I'm looking into it. I would go.
One of you guys can get nominated.
I would nominate like myself. Like if I could.
Totally nominate.
I don't think they would choose me for anything or I get any votes, but just to say I did something, because
Well, Mr.
Not if you support the sexual assault.
here we go.
But the thing is that even participating is putting an example, leading by example. Palestinians are a pluralistic democratic society that can have multiple opinions and still, make decisions in a united way. It's extremely important.
Yeah, taking part in the process is important to me. But Jindip, though, what do you think? Jindip, you're talking about the PNC.
Yeah, so I'll let you know that if you want to run for local elections and
No, the PNC. The PLO's, the Palestinian National Council.
I'm just gonna let you know what our esteemed PA President Mahmoud Abbas did. He signed executive orders so anyone who would want to run for elections have to sign off on agreeing to the terms of the PLO being the representative of the Palestinian people, meaning that you have to say the Oslo Accords are okay, everything the PLO did or whatever the PA is doing is you have to comply with those laws. Now the PNC is a different ballgame, a different story. I don't know what the mechanisms for electing at the PNC is.
They're above the PLO to the council, and they have the council.
Can I ask you a question?
Good.
If you could change, like replace the PLO, how would you change it? What would you change, and what would you put in place to represent the Palestinian voice?
Dissolve this whole entity. Dissolve it, like get rid of it, and have younger people run for office.
Is it the system, the way the system people that are currently
No, it's pretty much how the system is built and how it has, you know.
Can I ask what is wrong in your opinion from the system?
Well, the PLO does not represent every Palestinian. That's one. Two, the system itself has been set up in such a way where it's just another little dictatorial, regime amongst the Palestinians. And we have this character Abbas, who is propped by the Israelis and the Americans, sitting on his chair and extremely corrupt. It's just another dictatorial Arabic government.
So, but your perception was the PLO always like this, like from the day it was born, or was it corrupted? So, when did it shift? I'm genuinely curious. It's not from a judgmental or anything. I've never gotten a chance to ask and see
After the Oslo Accords, pretty much, they came. They did not come from those people who were, running the show in amongst the Palestinians in the West Bank are people who did not live amongst the Palestinians. The local Palestinians were sitting on the sideline, and the whole system was set up by Dayton, the Dayton of the General Dayton. So they replicated a repressive system. In which the Palestinians.
So you feel Arafat never represented you?
As an elected person? Really, no. I mean, he represented the PLO. Does the PLO represent every Palestinian? Yeah, it has
Theoretically, it's supposed to, right?
Yeah, but the PLO is supposed to be a transient organization in which things have to move on after the Oslo Accord, the so-called Oslo Accord.
Oh, okay, I get what you mean. So you feel like they used the fact that they were there for temporary, and they okay.
Yeah, and things were moving along in 2006. Before that, there were local elections, and we had the legislature, like a parliament, and people voted those people in. But then, right after 2006, it was decimated. Most of its members were arrested by Israel, and Abbas came and pretty much dissolved. Abbas mandate had.
Do you feel that their objection to the disengagement played a part in that?
What do you mean, objection?
The PA objected to the unilateral disengagement from Gaza, right? They thought it was done over their head and that it's not done, and that it's a trap. Do you think that their objection to it contributed to them losing support?
Yeah, because
it was perceived as a political move against Hamas at the end of it.
Right, I mean, yeah, because they were, Hamas is what Hamas is, and they were engaged in doing horrible shit in the Gaza Strip, and that's why how Hamas came to power. I do not support Hamas. I'm not a big fan of Hamas as an ideological movement. I don't like their ideology. I wouldn't vote for them. They don't represent me. I'm always at odds with their ideology. But Palestinians do not have full representation. I mean, whatever agency we have, they definitely do not represent the Palestinian people.
But that was always the case, right? It was like part of the main thing they always tried to do is make sure Palestinians don't have a voice.
Right, but in 2000 there were elections which were decent elections, but the issue with that is the Hamas won the majority in the legislation in the parliament, and that was to the disliking of the Americans and the Israelis. I always thought, okay, you put them in power, let them form a government. They're gonna fail, vote them out. 4 years later, you can vote them out, But if you're from the region, you see how those little dictatorial Arab leaders, how they function, and how things go with them. And the PA has been a total disastrous failure. There's just a bunch of corrupt fuck-ups who just want to line their pockets.
Do you feel there's a prominent Palestinian voice that you feel you would elect as the leader?
Say that again. Say that again.
Is like somebody that you support, whether it's Barghouti or God forbid Daslan, or but is there somebody that you would stand behind as
Yeah, but there are plenty of Palestinians.
Who would be your your top candidate?
I would, we're still under the occupation, right? So it has
Yeah,
to be.
It's more.
I like Baruti. I like other people who are, they don't have to be, those, militant people, or they can be just anyone,
Do you think that there's any chance that there will be a support for Zacharias Beatty?
Support for who?
Zacharias Beatty.
No, I don't think so. No. I support like wide support as a
if he decided to go back into politics, do you think he would gain support?
I know. I don't think so. He's I don't know if people here know who he is, but I don't think.
I'll tell you what I asked. I was really surprised that because when they released a lot of the hostages, the Palestinian hostages, the powerful names were mostly released to foreign countries, right? To Egypt or Turkey. But for some reason, they allowed Zacharias Beatty back from the West Bank. And that's a guy that has leadership potential, right? And I thought that means that they're about to go after him again, because usually when they don't want somebody out, they let him out to a place where they can catch him back again a few months later. But they seem to be leaving him alone. And I'm wondering if something's up there, because he's a recognized name. At least
he might be recognized.
The whole prison break thing.
Yeah, but he might be recognized.
That's like star quality.
He might be a recognized name amongst the Israelis, probably, but he's not that much of a recognized.
Really? Like with the whole prison break, he didn't get like a lot of clout.
Yeah, popular, thing, but I don't see him to be to have the qualities of leading the Palestinians. I don't really care who runs for office. It's just we don't need another Abbas. We don't need a corrupt piece of shit character. We just need someone from the neighborhood, from amongst us, who can can navigate things through. But you know how hard it is to be leading a Palestinian under the Israeli occupation, because we're not a free people. I don't really care.
No, taking any type of leadership is taking a risk with your life. Israel loves to take down anybody that has any type of clout in Palestine.
Right. So imagine this guy you mentioned, Zachary. Imagine him being winning elections amongst the Palestinians. Do you think Israel is just going to say, "Oh, okay, here, let's come and talk to you"? They're just going to kill him overnight. It's a given. It's a given that he would be living.
That's exactly why it didn't make sense to me, because he has that star quality, I think. But maybe I was.
Star quality, yes. Does he have leadership? I don't know. He could be. I don't know him very well, but I know he broke out of jail.
He was one of the names I expected Israel would want to exile. That it wouldn't want him.
He's still. They kept him. They did not ditch him out of the country.
Which was very weird. Like all the other big names, they kicked out.
Yeah, they kicked out a few people. Yes, I know. I never really thought about that. I never thought why they kept him around.
Right, but do you get why it's bothering me? It feels like it's too fishy. It feels like we're missing something.
Yeah, I don't know.
They don't. It wasn't a coincidence, These are the type of things that Israel does for a reason.
Possible. I don't really know. Very possible.
Yeah. Alright, guys, maybe we got a little bit too detailed on stuff.
These elections here are for the council over the PLO, and they help form the direction or set the agenda for the PLO. So
entire organization before you even get to PA elections and underground. Especially if we can get, a decent amount of people from, it looks like half the people are from the diaspora and half are from within Palestine. That's how it's set up. I wonder if Connecticut had one.
Well, what happens? 1 minute silence. Okay.
Something that's weird with my thing here.
Rabbi's still in the audience. He's just annoying orange man. But yeah, let's see what happens with elections. I hope they allow the collection of the results from East Jerusalem, because Israel is just something else.
Why do I have a hand raised queue? I'm not a mod.
But you are Edward.
The great.
You're the great.
But that's weird.
You are a mod.
I'm not a mod.
No, he's not.
Yeah, you are.
I'm gonna come right back and see what happened. This happened yesterday too in a different room. And the app always comes up crashing. Hold on, let me put myself down. I'm gonna put myself down and bring myself up. Oh wow, I can't even click on my name. Okay. Let me get out. I plan to move to Gaza with my family.
Oh, for fuck's sake, really? Really? You're just a bad person.
What are you talking about?
You're just a fucking bad person.
What are you talking about? You're self-righteous. I think you're on some righteous trip because you're like.
Do you know that yesterday? Do you know that when people returned to Gaza yesterday and today, in one of the situations, a little girl was coming back with her family. An IDF refused to allow her to take her toy with her. The only thing she brought with her, and she was literally crying her little heart out, begging for the toy back, and they said no. But you want to go with the
Vile.
You're such a piece of shit.
Bro, this is how fucking vile these fuckers are. The one little thing that this little girl has is her toy, a piece of solace, and takes it away. Listen, you black fucking rabbi bitch. Shut the fuck up. I'm not talking to you. I called you Black Rabbi. Isn't that your fucking name? I said black fucking rabbi bitch.
She was crying so hard. So she just wanted her fucking toy.
The one thing that somebody has, they want
It's
to.
more than that, though. They feed off of children's fear.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like gas for them. Clearly, Black Rabbi didn't care about children, or he would have wifed up his pregnant girlfriend, right?
Yeah, it's true. He turned the conversation completely, and we took a moment to acknowledge how vile people are. But then again, this guy's a Trump supporter too.
But you know where you're wrong, Warning? To them, they're not children. They're not human.
No, they are. They are children. They target children.
They target children. They
You
look
wouldn't
like
have snipers. You were arguing this point the other day about a sniper
No,
who
you're
had
not listening to
bullets in
me.
a child's head.
You're not
Okay?
listening to
They
me.
target
You're not-
children. No, I'm hearing you,
You're not
but you're not
listening to what
gonna
I'm saying.
downplay what it is. They target children specifically. So
I'm not.
please, when you speak about children and Zionists attacking children, it is children that they're after. They don't care about adults or anything like that. It's the children, obviously, or else they wouldn't arrest children for throwing rocks.
Okay, but you don't. But I was trying to explain is that they don't view them as human children. They view them
What
as
you're
less.
trying to explain is something that it's not, and they are targeting children. That's fine that you believe what you believe, but what I've seen and what I've heard and what I've been researching lately is they're targeting children specifically. Why? Because they're innocent. They have no sin. Right? Oh, the sin is throwing a rock? Yeah, right. They want to steal that innocence. They want to harvest their fear. They're doing satanic rituals with innocent children. And according to Oprah, letting Oprah, do Oprah's thing, there was this problem way back in the 80s. And people were not talking about it, and it was silenced. And it's interesting how quickly things get silenced and people get paid to keep their mouth shut. It's really important that we acknowledge that Zionists are targeting children. So thank you, Emeralds, for saying that they don't see them as children, but they do. They target them. They have a big target on their back, and snipers are actually shooting them in the head. You argued this point. Matter of fact, how do you feel about that, B-Rabbit, Mr. Black Rabbi? How do you feel about that woman going on Oprah and talking about how Jewish people were sacrificing children and eating them? And how do you feel about the Epstein files that talks about children being ate with cream cheese? How do you feel about that?
You officially put yourself into the crazy. You're a crazy person just saying these things.
Yeah, we're only crazy until someone actually shows proof of it, right? Go search the Epstein files yourself.
You kind of people who support this movement, right? And it's easy to blame Jews, pick on the minority, the smallest.
You know what? You're not going to gaslight me. You're not going to do that. Because the funny thing is that you try to twist people's words to make yourself look good when all you've done is denounced your own country, America, right, where you're from, your American blood in your veins, and now you're over there trying to act holier than thou, holier than your own freaking community. So let me ask you a question, since you won't answer that, which all Zionists do. Who do you choose? Martin Luther King or Malcolm X?
Netanyahu.
Yeah, exactly.
Netanyahu is probably one of the greatest leaders of this generation. World leaders, and he's saving more Muslim lives than any man probably ever to walk face of this earth. He's destroying all the enemies of Islam.
People like you are gonna have hell to pay when you talk about your Messiah comes, right? It's interesting because when the karma comes, we'll see who's left. And if it's not in this realm, it'll be when you die. And you'll face your maker. You will face your maker, and you will be weighed by the salt that you have endured for other people's tears. And the more you talk, the more you sound ridiculous. And it's disgusting. People like you are allowed to have this platform.
No witchcraft. Please stop it. No witchcraft. Bottom line is Israel is saving. Trump is doing God's work. Him and Bibi are working in conjunction, and I can almost guarantee you Trump has Jewishness in his family line. I don't know. It's there somehow. He's righteous. Netanyahu is righteous. And we're to probably humanity.
Okay, you said all that. At what cost, though? At what cost? You're just okay with children dying? You're okay with a genocide? So that what, your Messiah can come back and let everyone else perishes because you're better than everybody else? Miss me with your down your nose judging people. You're sick, you're demonic, and I pray for you because you will have hell to pay. Trust me, you will have hell to pay.
Thank you for praying for me. I appreciate that. The point is saying, if you believe in God and you believe in peace on earth, you'll be demanding that Hamas is removed from.
The funny thing is you spew that propaganda, Hamas. You miss me with that bullshit. Okay? It's used as a manipulation for the people, and clearly you're delusional and manipulated for who you are and what you stand for, and every word out of your dick. You're fake. You're delusional, and you're crazy. You're just crazy, Black Rabbi. You really are. B-Rabbit in its finest glory. The fact that you're okay with your own child growing up without a father, right? Yeah. So much for your family values, right?
Why are you attacking me personally?
Attacking you? Oh, suddenly you feel attacked because we're talking about your sin, right? Because he without sin shall cast the first stone. You know what? Your narrative is getting weaker and weaker the more you talk and the more people are aware of what's real. Because these Epstein files that are coming out, it won't be long. It won't be long. There will be a revolution here in America. And there will be a revolution that pulls the rug out from underneath you. And then the Zionists that are controlling all this and puppeteering all this, what is that for the innocent Jewish people that actually believe in what they believe in? Because there is a difference. There is a huge difference. Because I've met with a woman with a tattoo on her arm that is Jewish, and she doesn't agree with anything that's going on. So I'd like to hear you. You speak for her too? You speak for her? Right. You speak for her. And the funny thing is she talks about people of color who are Jewish and how it's interesting to her that they believe the narrative because we've talked about you. She's heard about you. And she thinks that it's funny to her because in their belief, what you were talking about, you're crazy. You're crazy, Black Rabbi. You really are. And the fact that you believe your own narrative just makes it even more dangerous.
My book is on Amazon.
And